So you know how sometimes you start something and you have this perfect picture of being able to keep it going all the time and keep some consistency, some momentum, have a flow because you have a clear direction and you've imagined how this thing could slowly lead to something bigger. It's just the first steps towards an immaculate vision, something grand, perfect, something that you can look back at after connecting all the dots back to where it began, and then see how it all came together, how it all fit, how you made the time to sow into this vision and crafted something you'd be proud of, something your friends would be proud of, your family would be proud of, your kids, your grandkids, like looking way back or way forward, I should say, and seeing this dream manifest. That's how sometimes it feels, and that's what we often intend when we set off on these journeys of thousands of miles that begin with one step. And often you start off, you're happy, you got off the ground, and you recognize that it's something that will take a while, but it doesn't deter you. You actually resolve to keep going. And then you start, and then it falls flat on its face. And then you're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? Am I even gonna keep this thing going? And then you start to have doubts and you start to sort of push it further and further and further away. The dream gets deferred till later. And you keep telling yourself, at some point, I'll make this thing happen. At some point, I will create the next piece of art. I will create the next writing, or I will make the next video. And here we are. Took a while, took a minute, but here we are, not giving up, still attempting to make something out of this dream of finding that consistency, working that muscle, putting in the time, doing the work, finding the voice, telling the stories. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be ready. The readiness comes in the doing. The perfection comes in the action. Making those moves, making something happen, and then slowly building from there. So that's, in a nutshell, what I'm doing now. I didn't want to wait till I knew exactly what this next video is going to be about. I didn't want to wait until I felt the conditions were right. I know there are echoes of my previous video in this one as well, because it's taken quite a bit of time to just sit and record something. I think that's what matters. That's what matters. It's not about the set. It's not about the lights. It's not about being in the right moment. The right moment is now. And I strongly believe and feel that This is just the second take after setting up my camera on my phone and just hitting record, putting on my mic and going, because I recognize that part of the journey is this, just taking those chances, going with the flow, being in the flow, and becoming more through that process. So hopefully you listen to this, you find some inspiration, some nuggets in here. And yeah, maybe it encourages you to start something or pick up where you left off. It's been months since I just did something similar, because I'd been talking about making this thing happen, but never did. And here we are again today, trying to revive. Sometimes that's what it takes. Falling down, picking yourself up, slowly building that discipline from there. The next time, maybe that could be better rehearsed, better executed, better actualized, if you prefer that word. And you build from there again. I'm starting to find and starting to see that for me, that's probably what it will take. Just these constant moments of being vulnerable, being real, not being afraid to just share in a moment where you might not be so prepared, and seeing that that is how you find a certain flow, a certain rhythm, and yeah, just being present, being here, sharing honestly, and using that as a way to encourage myself actually to keep this thing going and to build on it and to trust that eventually a certain clear direction, a certain clear path will develop, and I will find that consistency. Because how do you find it if you don't take those steps? How do you build a rhythm, find your voice, if you don't speak, if you don't share, if you don't care what people are going to think? I'm a big believer in that quote, the man in the arena. You got to put yourself out there. You got to take that chance to make something happen. Otherwise, nothing does. And often, making something happen is just about diving into the deep end, and not depending on conditions feeling right and being perfect. And yeah, that's what I've got to share today. It's taken a while to get back, to actually sit, to actually take time to record something, make a record of this moment, of my thoughts. And it feels good to do this. Unscripted, real, honest, imperfect. And hey, let's see how it goes. This is Nana Opoku, aka Afroscope, signing out. Peace.